Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. We're here with my brother Damon and Jaquari Armstrong. We have special guests tonight, KJ Jones, Clive Vaughn, Darryl Shepard, and Bill Culbertson. Um, Tonight is a special night for me because my brothers have indulged me. I've had a Pitt flashback, and this is a great thing for me. You know what I mean? I don't usually do too much of that because what's in the past is in the past. It's just how it is. All right. What I'm going to do is before I go into the big dog segment, I'm gonna say hello to the fellas, and when Bill comes, I think Bill is coming in now. So I'm gonna say hello to the fellas, and then I'm gonna go into my segment. Jaquari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm trying to get prepared and everything, man. Gentlemen, I'm sorry. I've been sitting here writing a couple of things down. I'm not being antisocial, which I've been accused of in the past, but I'm here. I'm present. I'm ready to get into it.
Okay, Damon, how you today, brother?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Above ground and everything. You know how it is. Uh, it's been an overall good day for me.
Okay, okay, cool.
I ain't mad with nobody.
Okay. Yeah, a friend of the show, Mr. Jones, KJ Jones. How are you today, sir?
Fellas, I'm good. Glad to be here. Glad to be definitely glad to be in this company. It's been a long time for a lot of fellas on this call. So I'm doing great right now, Keith.
Okay, cool. Clive Vaughn, Captain Clive Vaughn. How are you today, sir?
Man, I'm blessed by the best. I have a little physical problems, but I'm blessed by the best. I'm here, and
All right,
I'm
leave
blessed.
this.
Can I hear you?
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can get right to them.
Darryl, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Honored to be here. Feeling good.
Okay. Thank you, Chef. Mr. Culbertson, the other captain when I was a sophomore. How are you today, sir?
Man, things are going well, man. I'm glad to see all you guys. I'm trying to fix my camera, man. And, I'll have it on there. Can you hear me?
We got you, man. Yeah,
We hear you loud and clear.
I got you, Bill.
You know what I mean? But like I said,
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we got you.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Hey, Chef,
Yes,
and
sir.
Clyde, he was like that on the court, wasn't he?
And I never complained because he had to pass me the ball. So I was whatever Bill said was cool, man. I say, yo, cuz, I'm open, cuz. Come on. And he got me the ball, so I'm good.
Look, Clyde had 3 people on him, but he was open.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
When Coach Shipman recruited me, he said, I didn't recruit you to pass the ball, okay? So you score. And that's what I did.
That's real. And you was a hell of a scorer, too, dog.
That was Money Vaughn, baby.
I'm going to get me a plane. I'm going to get me a plane ticket to.
You breaking up, Bill. We can't hear you, baby. But, we still here, baby. All right, well, this is what we're going to do. Before we get into the questioning, because
That's where I was.
Bill, we can still hear you, man. Don't spill no family secrets while
Right,
you're
he's about to tell it all,
I'm
man.
sad.
You gotta turn my volume up.
Hey, Keith. He like, what I'm asked to make it do.
All right, well, look, this is my segment, first part of it, and what this is mainly for is to create the energy of the show. Halftime and at the end, it's a 3-pronged attack from me and my brothers because what we try to do, our guests, we try to make them comfortable and enjoy the thing. I'm feeling good today because our Panthers are going to the second round.
Yes, sir.
And that's real. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations to them youngins. I'm glad for them. So basically what I want to do is do some housekeeping. What I need you to do to go to our channel. If you see this tonight, if you see it on a YouTube channel, you're going to hear me say, go to our channel, like, share, and subscribe. There's some good content there. Take 30 seconds to click onto it so we can do what we got to do. All right, now look, this is something like I call the big dog moment. I didn't name myself a big dog. My youngest, man, they saw it, you know what I mean? And then no, they heard Demetrius call me that.
That's right. It's
And then all
deserved.
of a sudden it got infectious to them, you know what I mean? Because they follow Demetrius wherever he be. So, but this is a big dog moment, and basically what it is I was thinking about doing something very elegant and profound and shit, and try to you know massage your souls. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? No, what I'm going to do is say that I feel blessed to be here. I feel blessed to be here. KJ and me and my brothers, we were talking about it. And when we look around, we're at that age where we look around and people that we know are not here. So the blessings is full for me. You know what I mean? I am full, and really and truly, I don't need to say no more. That's the big dog moment. This is real. All right.
Yes,
What we generally do is we go to each guest
Yes, sir.
and we talk about what we ask them. We put out G Sharp, how you doing, baby boy? We ask the question of the panel, and before we get to that, I'm gonna go to each man. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us and a little bit tell the audience about yourself. We'll start with you, Shep.
Oh, cool. Yeah, me. What could I say about myself? When I look back, I ended up being a jack of all trades, trying to do a little bit of everything. I really never stuck to one thing, but played football, basketball, I ran track, into music, played multiple instruments, trumpet, clarinet, saxophone, piano, played piano my whole life. And I always had a twinkle in my eye for computer science and technology. So that's pretty much me. And I played for the Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, and played a little bit for the West Virginia Gunners. It was like a G League back in the day, the old CBA. And I wrote songs for some of the top musicians out there. I ended up on Billboard's top 10 in R&B as a producer and as a songwriter. But outside of that, you know, um, I'm a software engineer right now at a company. We're a full fleet management company, and I write software applications for the company. And outside of that, I'm a proud dad of three girls, proud husband, and what else I like to do? I watch NBA highlight clips every day, and I experiment in the kitchen a little bit sometimes, making my dishes for the holidays. But that's it. That's me in a nutshell.
And you just described a jack of all trades. We used to tease Shep all the time
Didn't
because most
Wow.
people the one thing that most people didn't understand about Shep was Shep is a highly intelligent human being. This
Um,
dude,
Yes, he is.
no. Hey, be humble
Yeah.
all you want to. You know what I mean? Because there's a little jealousy with that because I see myself as highly intellectual too. But guess what? The stuff you can do
Yeah.
is incredible.
um,
It's incredible. That's real.
I try my
All
best
right,
to discipline.
let's go to Mysterio. Bill Culbertson. Clive, we coming to you last, brother, because I want to hear from you. Bill Culbertson,
Hey,
talk
man.
to us, baby.
Yeah. Man, guy, I can't complain. Most life I've been working with kids in the arena on working with the juvenile justice community. did a little coaching. Uh, Played overseas a couple of years. Uh, Vaughn, Charles told me to tell you hi. Uh, and man, just taking care of my family. Um, my daughter and they just amazing. My daughter and my son are just amazing. I'm with them. They got they hadn't had a B since like sixth grade.
Okay.
What I'm talking
You
about.
know, my daughter, a all conference field hockey player. She just a beast. She just man, and everything that she do, man, she's driven with her grades. Right now, she in college and working. You know, my son, I call him the little son. They actually twins, but he the same way, man. He ain't had me since like seventh grade. They just driven. And I made a comment the other day about being corny. It's only corny in our corny is, you know. But they are just so amazing. My daughter, I said to my daughter one day, "You talk like a white girl." She said, "Why I can't just talk to girl?" So I had to say, "You absolutely right."
You're
So
absolutely right.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
you absolutely right. So I stopped saying that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, well,
Hey, look,
I'm
look.
just and you was talking about um, there's a lot of people who ain't here no more, and we still here. You know, we had a lot of people in my life, man, that no longer there, man, and to see you guys, man, I'm man, all right, man, that's all right.
Hey, look. Hey, Bill. This is very humbling because I have never, and I know Clyde and Shep and KJ, never seen you with a loss of words. You own like
This is true.
yeah. KJ, tell us
Hey,
about what's going on with you, brother.
things
Yes,
things change when you get old.
there you go. Yes, they do. They changed quite a bit. Thanks again, Keith. And we went over my path and everything on one of your first episodes, but proud graduate of the University of Pittsburgh, class of 1985, and I followed a path. I've been one that's been fortunate, blessed enough to follow the path that I guess I hit Pitt with. Communications was the degree, and the pursuit of jobs and employment and a career in communication has been it. I've worked for CBS News, CBS Sports. Um, Electronic media in its early stages, with all this stuff that we do online now. I worked for one of the first online services, the Prodigy service, back in 19, I think it was like 86 or 87. I started with them, and it was like kind of pioneered what we know as the internet now, in their news area, in their sports area. And then went on to progress at a communications platform, but got into the PR side of it, and working with different companies and such like that. But my passion has always been automobiles. It's been my heart passion all my life. Well, we were at Pitt, it's one of those deals where nobody knew and all that kind of thing. And you grow up, and you play ball, and football, baseball, basketball. I didn't play much basketball, but football and baseball were my sports and stuff. And good enough at it, decent. But I always love cars, and I figured, at I guess about 30 or so, I had to marry cars and communications. So I moved to California, and got my first car job, and then found outlets to get me into the communication space. So we'll go 20 years ago, I got with the Motor Trend Group. So I've been with Motor Trend for about 20 years now. And as of January, I was just appointed to the position of a senior editor with Hot Rod Magazine.
Okay.
That's real. Congratulations to you, sir.
Yes.
Well, Clive Vaughn,
Yo,
I,
what's
I,
up?
I wanted you to go last, brother, because I ain't talked to you in a grip.
It's definitely
So
been a long
tell
time.
everybody about yourself and what's going on.
Well, after I left Pitt, I got drafted by the Pacers. When I got released in Veterans Camp, I went over to England because that's where I was born. And I had like 5 or 6 teams bidding because when you played in Europe at that time, you could only have 2 Americans. I didn't count as American, so I was making a lot of money. Went over there, played 8 years, led Europe in scoring 3 of those 8 years. Uh, Traveled through 28 countries because I played in the national team. Um, and then in 1991, I hurt my back. So I came over here to have surgery, and then Seth Greenberg asked me if I wanted to coach. And I said, "Nah, I'm still playing." He said, "Look, I'm gonna fly you out to California, and just see if you like it." Flew me out. That's when they had the Rodney King riot. The funniest thing was he didn't want to go down to L.A. because he was scared. He was like, "Man, I can't drive down there." It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I drove, and the rest was history. I coached with him. From there, I went to South Florida with him, and then from there, I went to UConn. Won a national championship in 2004, and got out of the business then. And then I started to work with patients that's mental health, addicts, drug and alcohol. And I've been doing that. And then my mother passed away probably 5, 6 years ago, and I wanted to honor her. So I started a food truck. The food truck is called Mamalicious. Mamalicious means a mother that could cook. And it's one of the largest food trucks in Illinois. And we serve jerk and curry shrimp, lobster, catfish, salmon, oxtail, rib tips, pork bellies, jerk, turkey, you name it, we have it. And we're not a food truck that go and park somewhere unless we're invited and we know people's coming.
Right.
So we go to festivals, we go to subdivisions, and I do that from because it's cold in Chicago. I do that from end of March all the way to the beginning of November, and then the rest of the time I'm in the rehab helping patients with mental health and um, the addiction, which is crazy because they don't discriminate in alcohol and drugs. And dealing with them going through their 10 days of detox. And it's a company called RCA, and dealing with the detox and then the residential. So I see them, and they're there for 30 days. And some of them can't deal with it, so they leave. So that's my passion is helping people. But the food truck is, if you go Mama Licious on the internet, you'll see it, and you'll be amazed. And KJ, matter of fact, was there last year.
I
And
co-sign, baby.
yeah,
Delicious.
and
Delicious.
so we got to go on. So that's my story.
Okay. Okay. Um, and that's the thing about it is the fact that what I understood from my brothers Damon and Jaquari and you guys and people that I've got to meet are dynamic people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the narrative has been always a false narrative portrayed to us. So I like the fact when you guys tell your story, it's a real story. It's the real story about everything. You feel what I'm saying? And I love that. Let me just shout out everybody that's commented, that's in the comments right now. G Sharp, Eddie Mack, we see you, baby boy. Lamont, what's going on? Man, this is a flashback right here. You hear
Pit.
me?
Real
This is
pit.
Pit. This is real Pit fans right here. You know what I mean? So let's do this. Let's get this out of the way because there's some major basketball players on this screen. You know what I'm saying? So We got to throw some basketball questions out there because it is what it is, gentlemen. We got to do it. Um, we'll start with the easiest questions. What made you guys go to Pitt? Okay, that's the easy one. That's a good one to start from. All right. Give us a couple minutes, then we're gonna branch off into everything that we possibly can. All right. Bill Culbertson, talk to us, baby.
Well, I went to South Alabama first, and I'm from the concrete jungle, man. So when we got down there, and it was just so laid back, but it just wasn't for me. So Seth had seen me play in the shootout here. So when I came back home, he called me and asked. He said, "I met come on, and I like the city, so I did. Here we go."
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, I tell people all the time, Bill is like Clive. They natural scorers. What they do, right? But Bill changed his whole game around to become the point guard for our squad. You know what I mean? And he was feeding Clive. Clive was never mad at Bill because Bill, look,
Never.
when you was hot, and Clive was hot all the time. But anybody who was hot, Bill was bringing you the ball like, here, do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, he reminded me so much of the crib. It wasn't funny, man, because he was intense. And I like that's what I like about it. All right, Shep, talk to us, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Why did I come to Pitt? I guess I'll try to make this quick as I can. Like Bill, I started out at another school. I started out at Duquesne. I had a couple of schools throughout the country. I was looking at going. UNLV was one. Marquette. There was a couple of schools that was really interested in me, and I said no to everybody, and even including Seth Greenberg was interested. I was waiting until after the Big Dapper Dan basketball game they have in Pittsburgh. It was at the Civic Arena, and I always wanted to play in that game. So I said after that we'll see what's going on. So when I get to the game, there was a lot of stars there. Wayman Tisdale, AC Green. We was playing these guys. Patrick Ewing, just to name a couple. So I get there, and you know how they introduce everybody when they can't come out. I'm running out, and they introduce my name, Darryl Shepard. He just signed a national letter of a national letter of attendance to the Duquesne University, and I never did such a thing. And it was
No, they didn't.
a
No,
whole
hold on.
Wow, they
They didn't
yeah.
gorilla pimp you,
But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they weren't on my list. I legitimately was thinking about going there. I wanted to go. They really liked me, but I wasn't sure. But that kind of like made it. So then afterwards, we went around, with my past basketball coach, and I know you remember Mel Bennett trying to find out how something like that happened.
No.
And asking around, everybody said somebody else told me, but there was nothing definitive. So okay, so I was kind of like trying to call schools and that sort of thing to let them know I'm available, and was going to go to some other schools, but at the end of the day, it was at home. And I really don't believe that the coach himself or anybody there actually set me up or anything. I really, in my heart, think it was miscommunication. That's how I have to think. But I say, you know what difference does it make if, there's D1, we're playing all the top teams, we had some on their way to the pros. So, and plus Norm Nixon went there. So I'm going to try to speed it up. So anyway, I played. I had a great year that freshman year. We played Pitt, and I we beat Pitt. You know, I was one of the top scorers, and had a great game, one of the best games I ever had. So and that helped me later on. So then, you know, after that, the head coach he got fired. So it gave me like an opportunity. I didn't really think I owed them anything. It was over. So I said, called my boy Mel Bennett and talked to him. He says, you know, UNLV. He was out there. He says, you know, I'll talk to the coach there. You know, we could talk to Pitt. And I said, no, I want to go to Pitt because they're in the Big East. And I said, could you make the call for me? You know, talk to Chipman. He said, sure. So I go up to the office. It was like the next day. It's not like I had to wait. I was real presumptive, thinking that, you know, the Pitt would obviously that they would want me because we just beat them. And I was scoring at will and that sort of thing. I had a good game. So the first thing Chipman said to me, he said, did you get your letter signed? I had to sign this letter, you know, to get out of the school to transfer. And I said, no, I didn't sign it. He said, you signed a letter. You're on this team. He said, we're going to be in the Big East. He said, one of the things we need is speed and athleticism to compete in the Big East. And we would love to have you. And I was like, okay. And it happened that fast. The next day, I went up there, got that letter signed, came back to Pitt the next day. Right after that, I was lifting weights in the weight room. It happened that fast.
Okay.
So that's my crazy story.
Clive.
Oh, well, my story was I narrowed my schools down to I visited Syracuse, I visited DePaul, visited Auburn, and I really wanted to go to DePaul. That would have been a done deal. And getting ready to sign, then Seth left Columbia and got the assistant job at Pitt. And me and Seth go back to five-star when I was a sophomore. He coached me my sophomore and junior year at camp. So he said, Clyde, I got the job at Pitt as an assistant. Would you want to come? I said, nah, I'm going to DePaul. They was number one in the nation 2 years in a row. They lost in the first round, but they was number one. They was bigger than the Chicago Bulls at that time. I said, I'm going to DePaul. I visit there. I like it. Michael Guy was my host. Terry Cummings was my host. That's where I'm going. He said, all right, I understand that, but just come and visit. So I came out. I visit. Met Mr. Burrow. That's the inside start. Met Mr. Burrow. Those
Go
guys who know
Bag!
Mr. Burrow.
Go
Met Mr. Burrow.
The rest is history.
I drove back with him. You know what? The rest is history. I went to Pitt. Drove it to my prom. The rest was history.
Yeah. No doubt.
I didn't know y'all was gonna tell the dirty truth.
Hey,
I didn't know y'all was gonna tell the dirty truth. I was trying to keep it clean.
I ain't gonna lie. The next year I got another
Hey,
one.
ain't
Monte
no
Carlo.
lies
I ain't lying.
it's a strong perspective, boy. Wow.
Next year I got another one. So it's not man.
You know, my story was simple, right?
Wow.
I was when it came to basketball, when it came to football, I was on top of everything, right? And football, I was great at football, but I loved basketball. I loved it, right? So my thing was, I grew up in Michigan. So I was not going to, this is before Michigan had just built their indoor facility. They wanted, both Simbrackler wanted me to come badly, right? But I was like, man, Michigan, we had to play outdoors. And I did not like that shit. I could do it, but I didn't like it. So I love basketball, right? So I ended up, I was up. What ended up made me go to Pitt was this. Georgetown and North Carolina was playing in the final, right? Georgetown and Pitt were the only Big East team that was recruiting. And I was watching, right? And I got letters and I got a couple calls from Georgetown, but you know, everybody connected with Seth Greenberg. Coach Greenberg was that, he was that guy. You know what I'm saying? Great personality, hell of a guy, period. So I met him in 5 star, and he was always talking about it. Yo, you could be our future power forward. You could be our future power forward, right? So I'm watching the game, and I admired John Thompson. As a matter of fact, my dad bought me 2 books: Bill Russell, autobiography of Bill Russell, and autobiography of John Thompson. They were big men, right? And at that time, when it came to society, big guys had to force their way into social surroundings. We weren't accepted, right? So when I read those books, it made me appreciate basketball, what basketball do for me. So I'm watching Georgetown and North Carolina, and everybody know what happened in that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sat there. I was in a coach's house, eating his food. He's recruiting me, eating his food, and I said to myself, I'm going to Pitt. I'm going to Pitt because they asked me. They're like, yo, because I was a competitor. They're like, yo, we going into the Big East for your freshman year. These are the guys we're going to be playing against, right? And I watched it. I was like, yo, I get to play against those Hoyas all the time. St. John's, Syracuse. My homeboy Eric Sanford was playing for Syracuse, so we always looked up to him. And I'm like, man, it's an easy choice. And that's how I ended up going to Pitt. And during my time at Pitt, when it came to my football, Coach Foles Fangio, for 4 years straight, tried to talk me into playing football for Pitt because of my reputation and what kind of football player I was. But that's just a little side note.
And, on the night of that game, Keith, man, because we was at the coach
Jim
for
Boyce.
East. Yeah, we was at Jim Boyce's house. Yeah, man,
I wasn't gonna throw
I,
him out there. Yeah, but go ahead.
well, but I ate so much KFC that night, man. I didn't know what to do, bro. I mean, he said it out. He said he black people said it out. I ate everything.
I ain't mad at you, Corey.
I was not gonna stay home, man.
I would have ate it too.
I was
Yeah.
not gonna stay at the crib, man. I love Eastern Michigan. I love U of D. I especially love Michigan. One day I'll tell you about my Michigan story, but it is what it is. But
And that's when I'm going to chime in because,
yeah,
boy, you cut off my lifeline when you.
all right. Well, hey Damon, tell your basketball story.
Me, man, I was that guy, man. I was more of a fan than a player, you know what I'm saying? And my brother, man, he just stayed on top of, man, go, do what you got to do, whatever, right? So then that's when I started that whole process of fixing the grades and all that because, you know what I'm saying, I was out there doing my thing, And I really didn't think I was going to land anywhere, to be honest with you, man. But then I started watching you guys on TV, man. So it's a pleasure, man, seeing y'all. Because I watched y'all. You know what I'm saying? I watched y'all. And hell, the school I went to, we used to go in the TV room and watch y'all games, man. And it was a beautiful thing, man. And matter of fact, my bio, man, up until my sophomore year, until I started doing my thing, it was like, Damon Armstrong from Ypsilanti, Michigan, brother of Keith Armstrong, who went to Pitt University, who played in the Big East. That was my bio, man.
Proud thing, yes, sir.
And I'm like, really? And that's when I got my thing together. I said, I gotta, I had to be first mention on this joint, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep talking about Pitt. But, I had my opportunities too, man, but I didn't have the grades. But I was grateful and happy to land somewhere, And I made something out of it, went into the Hall of Fame, and, that kind of stuff, Division II. So, I met my wife there. Got 3 beautiful kids out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I remember most about my university, man. You know,
Yeah.
so
All good, Dane.
Okay. All right, KJ. I know you're the football player, but you can chime in on this
Well,
situation.
it's like this, man. It's crazy because when you think about back in the day and coming up, um, like I said, I played football and baseball in high school, and actually baseball was my better sport. Baseball is our family sport, so you had no option but to be good in baseball. And as far as Pitt, of course, I would say, of course, but every aspiration is like to play Pitt football or whatever. You know what I mean? And I had been following Pitt football since, well, since I wouldn't even say 76, probably like 74, before the 76 national championship. And then from there, it was just on, like Pitt literally is it. So Pitt was definitely a school that I aspired to go to. Caveat, I told you about this car thing I was digging, and I wanted to be an engineer. My initial aspiration was engineering. I wanted to design engines. I wanted to make the engine that's in the Corvette, and stuff like that. So I applied to a lot of engineering schools across the board and really wasn't thinking about football. I just wanted to get into an engineering school. Among them was General Motors, the GM Institute of Technology, which is like it. And their graduates, of course, go to work at GM and design engines, just do what I wanted to do. um, the problem was, and it's on me. I own it to this day. In high school, and you do athletics and you do somewhat education and that kind of thing. I wasn't doing the math work, man. My math was horrendous. So I come to find out or learn that engineering is math, and getting into school is by way of SATs, and my SATs and math on the math side were horrendous, and all these engineering schools were flagging me off. They're like, nope, can't take you, can't take you, can't take you. So it became frustrating, and in senior year, when you see all your friends going here, going there, and cats that you play ball with and everything going here and going there too, it's like, damn, well, what's up? What is the problem? And I went and I thought about Pitt. I said, well, you know what? Let's take a ride down there. Went down to Pitt and met with this cat. And I wish to this day I knew his name. I don't remember his name, but we sat with him and he said, the problem with you missing out on engineering is because your math is horrible. And I didn't realize that was the case, but he let me know that was the case. And he said, look, we can let you in CAS, arts and sciences, get in arts and sciences. We'll let you in arts and sciences. If you want to play ball, you go walk on or whatever have you and try to get with it. But the bottom line is we'll let you in arts and sciences, get your math up, and then you walk right into engineering school. I said, man, that's a hell of an offer. That is really a hell of an offer, but that's too goddamn much school. you're, you're looking at, I'm in the 4 and out program right now. you know. So I accepted the offer to go in CAS, and the rest is pretty much history. It actually worked out pretty well.
Okay. All right. Well, we at the halftime segment of this, but I
Can I say
cannot
one
go.
thing? Can I say one thing? Do you know I met KJ's dad before I met him?
Yep.
Okay.
It go way back when I was in high school. His dad was at recreation center, and I met his dad years before I met KJ.
Yep. That's facts.
That's
Right,
good.
KJ?
That's facts.
That's
Yep.
good. Hey, look, let me just do this, man, because really and truly, all the Pitt guys in here, we were, and I don't want to move on to halftime because it's required coming back to you, but I cannot let this go. All the Pitt guys right here, we were a witness to history because Clive's senior year, he became the all-time leading scorer at Pitt.
Yep. I was there.
That's realness. That's history.
Yep.
You
Could
know
I
what I
say
mean?
something real quick? Let me say
Go
something
ahead.
about Clyde's shooting ability. This was before the 3-point shot. There was no 3-point shot. Imagine if there was a 3-point shot when Clyde was there. Oh my
The
goodness!
record would be unbreakable.
And
Listen.
yeah, and I played behind him, when I first got there, and I used to watch everything he did and the way he shot. I used to go to the gym and try to imitate it because I said there has to be something special. What is he doing? He had this line drive that went straight to the
A
rim.
line drive.
Everybody always talk about
Like
the
a
line
laser.
drive.
It
They
was
Yes,
say
like
there's no
straight,
art.
right?
yes,
And then I
sir.
was like, there's some type of magic. There's something that he's doing because everybody should be shooting like this because he doesn't miss, right? So why
Yeah.
isn't everybody shooting? So I tried and then I figured out why. I was shooting straight and I said, the only thing I could come up with is that, maybe he's super smart, but I think it is the length of his fingers or something. I just
Yeah,
couldn't figure it
Ty
out.
has some,
But
Ty has some
but I
big ass
couldn't I
hands.
couldn't do it. I had to go back to my art, but I tried from Clyde. But
Yeah,
you were
everybody always
special.
tell me
Nobody
that
shot
you're
like you
supposed to
did.
have an arc in your shot. I was like, look, it's going in.
Man, look,
They say,
on
don't
line
change it.
drive,
Don't listen to anybody.
No, don't
I tell
listen.
I
No.
tell people all the time, man. If we had a 3-point,
Oh my goodness.
oh
It would
my
be out of
God,
control, dude.
It would have
That'd be
changed
out
the
of control.
game. Yeah.
Clyde, talk about that, man. Because look, like I said, I was not going to let this episode go by without mentioning the fact that that's history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Graduating and being the all-time leading scorer. I talked to Charles Smith, and I always joke with him. I said, if they had the three-point line, I said, Charles, you wasn't a three-point shooter, so you wouldn't have been the all-time leading scorer. He's got 12 more points he scored against Vanderbilt, his last game. He broke the record his last game. I said, Charles, if they had the three-point line, it'd be over. No, it'd be over. He said, yeah, I know, but they didn't have it. I said, you're right.
That's right.
And look,
You're right.
look,
So
and Clyde, tell him about your rebounding too, because his weak side rebounding was.
yeah.
fucking
And see, I
crazy.
always tell people that, I couldn't jump over a telephone book, but I position myself, and
Yeah.
90% of the rebound is under the rim. Believe it or not.
Exactly.
So I position myself. I know where they're gonna, where the rebound's gonna come and go get it. And that's why I think I'm number 4 all-time leading rebounder, and
Yeah.
was number 2 at one time. So just rebounding at 6'4", and long arms and getting the rebounds and scoring. I think I had a good 4 years there.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell of a 4 years. I
That
appreciate history. Man.
that's what was that's
Go
what
ahead,
was
Dave.
so deceptive. Jokers didn't realize how long Clyde's arms were.
That's right.
So when he rides up and let that thing go, it looked like he's 7 feet.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Yeah.
And look, and the way it always hit the back of the rim and snapped the nets every time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's funny because I was down in South Florida, and Patrick Ewing at the time was playing for Orlando, and he was practicing there. And so I was with my little son, so I went and talked to Patrick. He's like, Clyde, I didn't know you was here. He said, man, I always try to block your shot, but I couldn't. So he told my son, Clyde used to have 30, but we beat him by 20. I said,
And look,
man.
no, Pat needs to stop that because look, my freshman year, we kicked they behind.
That's true. That's true.
Kicked they behind.
Yes, when they came in, there was St. John's, Syracuse, and St. John's that 1 week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They call them the giant killers. Remember?
Look,
Yep.
look, I'm gonna tell you, man.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you the 2 teams that we could not beat that year was Villanova and Boston College.
Yes.
And we beat them one time.
Yep.
If any one of them, had we beat them one time, they would have put us in Sports Illustrated. Because that was our first year in the Big East, and we were doing that.
Against Boston College, they cheated us.
Yeah.
Against Boston College, some jokers cheated us. That joker fouled Clyde on that jumper, man. That was the game.
Yeah.
They fouled Clyde.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to give it to us, though.
Nope.
No. But you know why?
But all the scoring I did. Seriously, if Billy wasn't, Billy will pass me the ball 5 times in a row, and I score maybe 4 out of it. And if he did the 6th time, I say, yo, Billy, man. He said, Clyde, you got the ball 5 times. I said, but I was open the 6th time too.
That's right.
I said, come on, cuz. And he's just like, no, man, just relax, man. I'm gonna get you the ball. If it wasn't for Billy, man, please.
No, let me tell you. Just before after this, we're gonna move on you, Corey. The funny thing, I told the guys this last night. I was 17 when I came to Pitt. I ain't turned 18 until what September 28th, right? So I'm out there on the floor. I didn't play much my freshman year, but all the big teams, like what Clive just named, I was on the floor and I did some significant work to help us to win, right? So sophomore year, I started. So I started off slow, was solid, right? But Bill came up to me and it woke me up. He came up to me. It was after a game. I believe we won. He came up to me. He had the damn score sheet in my hand, in his hand, right? He said, "Keith, come here, man." Right? He pointed at him. He said, "Look, I got 8 rebounds." He said, "I'm a point guard, man.
You
There's
know,
no way."
crazy. I
He
remember
said,
that.
he said,
I
"There's
remember
no
that.
way I should get more rebounds than you." He said, and Bill was there to hit that. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And look, and I looked at him. I said, "You know what? You're right." You know what I'm saying? And then from that point on, I was like, you know what? I'm concentrating on defense and grabbing them boards, man. That was it. It's a wake up call. It's leaders. Clyde
Man,
and Bill was leaders.
I remember Billy coming to say, "Man, come on, man, I'm gonna talk to him. Look, I got 8 rebounds, and he got, I think it was 4 or 5. He said, this
Yeah,
is ridiculous."
yeah,
I remember that vividly.
yeah, yeah. And I could have gotten my feelings and all that, but I wasn't built like that. I was like, yo, he is fucking right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's time just because what I was about, I was about winning. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted us to win, because I was invested. You feel what I'm saying? So this is the halftime of our situation, a little bit more than halftime. Jaquari, we're going into your halftime segment, man. Got anything for us, brother?
Well, man, just the name of it, man, is Uncle Supposed Say, man, and I just wrote some stuff down, in the beginning before we even got on camera, fellas, because I didn't have anything. So please excuse my promptness. All right, so let's talk about conversation, which, by the way, is the main premise of the show. How important is it? Even more importantly, do you correctly participate in it? Personally, I see it as an art form that the world has tried to kill for quite some time now. Rarely is it. Rarely is there like a true exchange of ideas anymore. It's become an opportunity to be heard, no matter what you have to say. No matter what you have to say, and that's not always a good thing. That's the reason why that I value. That's the reason why I value this platform, man. Up to this point, uh, I believe that everybody who's been involved with us here on this journey, which is, exactly what it's been for me. It's been a journey that I've actually put thought and time into. But so far, I think we've added something good to the world. Through conversation. Fellas, I value your time and you sharing your experiences with us. You know, I'm truly humbled, man. I'm truly humbled, man. To hear about some of the things you guys have, done throughout your lives. But that starting point, at Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, man, was important to you guys. But it was important to me also, because I was around and I was able to soak certain things up. I was a puppy who was around big dogs, and that's how puppies learn. Puppies learn through, you know, model, picking up on that positive model behavior. You know what I mean? It was a wild time. I mean, I was young. I was young, but I've been to the O. Been to the O. You know what I
You been
mean?
to the O?
Been
Oh,
to the
all
You
O.
got a
right,
buzz
baby.
burger?
Oh man.
No,
And
my
it,
pleasure. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Jaquan.
yeah, but I was just finish it up, man. It marked me, man. It marked me, man, because I didn't know how I was gonna get to college. I didn't know how I was gonna get through college, man. But I knew I had to experience that life.
Okay,
I thank you, fellas, once again.
okay. All right, well, look.
Hey, can I say one? Can I say
Go
one
ahead,
thing?
brother. Go ahead, brother.
And this has been on my mind for a few years now, man. My boy Chip, man, Chip Watkins, my boy Chip, man. I was so sad when that happened. When he passed away, man. He was a pain in his butt, but he was a good dude, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
do you know that me and Gis went to his funeral? We went to his funeral, and because Gis at the time, not to cut you off, Billy, but Gis at the time was living in Chicago, so we drove down there. It took us like 5 hours and drove down there. And I told Gis, I said, you know what? One of us is gonna go, and one of us is gonna go. And he was like, nah. And then Gis went.
I
You
couldn't
know,
believe it when he passed.
then guess when I was just like, oh my goodness. So Billy, I know what you mean, but we was there, and I talked about when I spoke at Chip's funeral. I said Reggie brought you in to take my spot, and when you came in, you visited, and you said, you know, I'm here to take your spot. I said, man, you crazy as hell. I said that ain't happening. I said these guys leaving. He said you crazy as hell. I said, and I don't know how to pass and I can score? You in trouble, man. But go ahead, Bill. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, those two guys is gone, and Steve Beatty's gone. I mean,
Steve
No,
Beatty.
man,
Look, go ahead, Bill.
no. What?
Yo,
yeah,
yeah,
Steve
man.
Beatty
Last year. And look, and I'm gonna tell you,
Oh,
it hit me because Steve was my roommate my first 2 years on the road. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I know.
the thing about it was, me and Steve, we ain't have a lot in common, but we still put up the effort to sit down and talk to each other before games and after games. You know what I'm saying? Good guy, man. Real
Yeah.
good guy.
Always. Yeah.
Hey, God bless the dead, man. Steve, um, Chip, Demetrius. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Brett Crawford. That
Rock.
you don't know, Brett Crawford. Billy
Yeah,
know
yeah,
him.
yeah. I
Brett
met him.
Crawford.
I met him.
Yeah,
And
from San Francisco.
Yes.
Is that who you talk
look,
about, Clive?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rob Brooken. But this
Brett
was
the
years
Jet.
ago with Rob Brooken. Yeah. And Mike Goodson, controversial Mike Goodson, he passed away too. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? God bless the dead man because, like I said, we were talking about it last night. It was just more or less, we're at that age now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what I try not to do, I'm gonna tell you what helped me with being in law enforcement for 30 years, man. So I was around tragic situations all the time. So I was able to look at them as a life situation, and it didn't have me panic because that's what we do. We panic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, I'm gonna just say this to y'all brothers. I've never been a seasonal human being. What I mean by seasonal, if I hold you in high regard, that's gonna be forever, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to reach out to you guys, and I do this with my family, and I do this with people I consider friends. You know what I mean? I'm a permanent type of dude, man. Now I may not fuck with you, but I'm not gonna dislike you, and if you need me, I'm gonna be there. It's real. That's
There's
just
one
who I am.
person I wish we could have got on was Andre. If we could have got Andre on there,
Yeah,
Oh,
that would have been. Woo.
Yeah, I
yeah,
speak to him from time to time. His
yeah. I do
daughter
too.
and my
I
daughter
do too.
play AU
Okay.
together.
But look, Clyde, this is the thing, man. This is not a one-time thing.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, this is what we do. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And I plan on reaching out to him and CT and
Yeah.
everybody else, man. You know what I mean?
Man,
But look, everybody's busy. You know
wow.
what I mean?
Just
No,
those names.
let me pull that back. Everybody think they busy
Ah,
until it serves them. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
you
I'm
know,
gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you every time. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna combine this question because these two questions because they belong together, right? And it's related because we all have Pitt in common. But you guys, I want to say you guys have done great things. And this is for everyone. Damon, Jaquari, it's for everyone. Your college experience. What do you what can you say your college experience, how it influenced how you became the man you are today? Right? Now here's the slash to that. Do you think your college experience influenced the man you are today? So we'll start with you, Jaquari.
Yeah, I definitely think my college experience influenced the man I am today. I mean, you and Damon know, man. I was a late bloomer, man. I didn't really get my educational career started until shoot, what 2002 or when did I move to North Carolina?
Hear about that? About that.
Yeah, I had at one point, when I got out of high school, I was going to Eastern Michigan, supposed to play for them, but I flunked out my freshman year. And then I bopped around for I don't know how many years, just
10
existence.
years. Let's talk it. It's 10 years. It's a 10-year gap, my
Yeah,
guy.
no, I'm talking about between the time I went from Eastern to Jackson Community College when I moved in with Damon, and that was like a semester. I was it was a out of the house. I wanted to experience freedom of not living under my parents' roof, but I moved under my brother's roof, so I still had a standard that to live up to. So I moved back home, and that's when it was 10 years. 10 years had passed because I was working or whatever, and at home, and and trying to be supportive to the house, and trying to find my way, but not really gaining traction anywhere. So that's when I moved to North Carolina, man, and the world opened up. Once I got enrolled into the North Carolina Central University, which my oldest brother was more than instrumental, with doing. I moved there when I was 28 years old, and I had aspirations of playing football there because I still thought I had it. I was big, but I was out of shape. But just moving on campus, man, and immersing myself in that world, man, and realizing, that I should have been past this point. It put me in the mindset, man, to where I needed to be more secure, just with my life in general, man. So that's when I started making grown man decisions at 28 years old. You know, and up to this point, man, I think uh, been pretty successful.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. I mentioned 10 years, not in a bad way,
I
because
mean,
what my brother did was sacrifice what he should be doing, his 20s, right, to help my mother. So he was working and bringing his check home to help my mother because my father passed away. So he was there. He
struggling
sacrificed
though,
it.
brother.
Look, it makes no difference. It's what you did. And the thing about it is, me and Damon had our families, and we did what we could. But he sacrificed what that little integral part of his life. He sacrificed that, and my mother recognized that. That's why I said 10 years, because my mother recognized that, and she called me without him knowing. She called me in North Carolina, and she said, "Keith, I want you to have your brother come and live with you." She said, "Can you do that?" And I instantly said yes, because I knew what he sacrificed being there for my mother. She said, "I will be okay." She said, "I'm about to retire soon. I want him to have a life." And when he moved down here, and my wife, you know how we have the bosses, right? But I pulled the executive card. I said, yo, I looked at my wife when I got off the phone with my mother. I looked at my wife. I said, my brother's coming down here. And guess what she said? She said, but no buts. That's a done deal. She ain't say no more. Because
Yeah, that's what's up. Wow.
she knew what he sacrificed and what he meant to me. You see what I'm saying? What my brothers meant to me. Because the three of us, this is genuine. This is some real shit. They're my best friends. We don't always get along, but they're my best friend. And I felt he deserved that. And I'm gonna tell you now, he went to Central. Side note, Central was at the time, I think it's worse now, 16-1.
Oh,
I want to say that again. 16-1.
that's heavy.
The
That's
last
paradise. He went to paradise.
look, the last thing I want to say to you is chicken day.
Oh man.
That's all I'm gonna say. We'll
Oh,
talk about
man.
that later, guys. But my brother graduated cum laude,
Yes,
4 years, cum laude from that university.
Wow.
God, man.
Guy. That's
I just
my
had to
dude
say
right
that.
there.
I just had to say that because that's what he's a humble dude.
That's
Yeah,
my
Wow.
hey, and the crazy part about it, he's real humble because to soften the blow on his mind, I've been telling him this for years, and I'm gonna keep it short, man. He said he flunked out. This dude went there, had full scholarship, football, guaranteed graduate school scholarship. I guess the coaches thought that he could handle it, so he was a freshman taking 300 level classes, man.
Prerequisite classes as a freshman.
That's why he. That's why he
It is what it is.
flunked out, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Freshman level classes taking 300 level classes. Come on, man, that's unreal. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing.
You know,
All right,
so
Steph. Go ahead. Steph,
Yeah. Oh, what was the question? Was how does
how did
what?
Pitt, what do you think Pitt, your experience at Pitt influenced the way you are today?
Oh,
Or
absolutely, yeah,
no?
absolutely.
Okay, go
For
ahead.
who I am, like how I work with people, and so on and so forth. I think it's like a training ground. It was really a training ground for me. I didn't really know it at the time, but the stuff that we were going through and doing, it was preparing us for life. It really set me up for success. When I first got to Pitt, I like the structure there, how things were set up. Like some of the seniors, like Clyde, Trent, Billy, some of the older guys. I would look at them and steal some of their, get some clues about how to be a leader myself. And as time went on, I actually became captain. Along with Keith and Joey and the seniors. But I was one of the more vocal captains, of the and Keith too, I would say. But it was a lot of work at times, squashing, arguments, players have different opinions about things, so you have to get everybody with the same vision, you know, and everybody has to know their role as a shared, like, so whatever my role is it can't be just me knowing that role. Everybody has to know what my role is. And I do that now when I'm working, as a software engineer, team lead, so all of this stuff, really helps, like the failures, the setbacks. I have those at my company. And you have to know how to behave, and how to act so others will see. And we used to do that all the time, as you know, Keith.
Yeah.
And it was a great like time management thing. When you're at Pitt, we had to do a million things, and people think that athletes just get a free ride, like we don't have to go to class.
Yeah.
But I tell them you had to go to class, right? And if you didn't, you're going to fail. So we had to juggle all those things, all the things we juggle. I use those skills, daily when I go to work and when I work with my, um, you know, parent my kids, everything. It really helped. That's my story.
Clive.
Well, Pitt opened the door for me for a lot of things. Of course, because I was successful, it opened it up to going to Europe, and from Europe into coaching, and the relationship I have with Seth Greenwood, who I talk to maybe once a month, if not every other week sometime. And anything I need, Coach Greenberg will get it for me. Anything I need. So we're that close. They open up a lot of doors. So from playing to coaching to opening up my business. And the most important thing, other than basketball, is getting my degree because I was the first one in my family to go to college, first one. And then to get a degree, I mean, that opened up a lot of things. There's one thing left, which Keith know what it is, but Pitt need to do,
That's
and
real.
get, and then go from there.
Okay, now that my man, because that's his personal business, but he opened it up for me. My question is, for everybody who's going to see this in the future, to everybody who's talking about this right now, why Clive Vaughn is not in the Pitt Sports Hall of Fame?
What the hell are you talking about, man? For
Wait,
real?
Clyde, you ain't in the Hall of Fame?
Nah.
You know what? It's okay. Real
Wow.
100 is fucked up, but to not to soften it at all because it doesn't deserve any softening, but trust and believe it's a matter of time, bro.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
believe
Oh,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah, no
doing
doubt.
God's time. I really believe
No
that.
doubt.
That I really
Man,
believe.
hold
Let me,
on. Clyde should be first ballot, man. Straight up.
Absolutely,
first, first,
100%,
first and
100%,
foremost, first and
100%.
foremost, we all know that we came from a football school. And KJ, you're gonna be next on the question. We came from a football school. They handled the football players very well. You know what I'm saying? And this not critiquing the school, it's the fact that we have been very successful in the basketball situation. We
No
did.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Case in
So
point today.
yeah, so
Yeah,
my thing is,
yeah. But I'm sorry. At the end of the day, politics are always at play and stuff, and
right,
what goes on. But at the end of the day, the numbers speak for itself, right?
that's
So
real.
Right.
the haters or the
Exactly.
politics people,
Exactly.
over time they disappear, but they pass on, they move on, and then the new generation or whoever has to look at the numbers,
Dude,
and just looking at the numbers,
you
it's a
can't
wrap.
deny it.
Hey,
All,
dog,
Absolutely.
Am
stop
I
Absolutely.
playing.
lying? I mean,
all we
Stop playing. Yeah.
all
Man,
we
that's
got
All
to
right,
crazy as
do.
hell, man.
All,
go
wait a
ahead,
minute.
Bill.
All we got to do is bring it up again because
That's
Jennifer
all.
just got a street named after her. So my boy gonna have a street named after him.
But you gotta understand,
We
most
gonna put
people
that mug up ourselves.
let's put it in perspective.
yeah,
Jennifer
by the way,
and
the
Clyde.
mayor of Pittsburgh went to my high school. You know, he went to
Yeah,
Peabody. He used to watch me play basketball. So,
Holla at him, Chef. Holla at him.
look. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Jennifer and Clyde broke it in the same year.
They did.
that's crazy.
They did.
That's history.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Come on, man. Stop
you
playing.
gotta
Exactly.
link that up.
They
Stop
did.
playing. That's
They
it.
did.
And
All
how
right,
many years was y'all in the Big East?
We came to Big
we
East 2 years.
started in
I played
82.
2 years in the Big East because came in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
junior year.
Started in 82,
Wow.
my
Yeah.
Yeah.
freshman year. Yeah.
And that's when I led the Big East in scoring
Yeah.
my junior year.
Yep.
Was
Wow.
second my senior year.
Yep. Yep. KJ, it's on you, brother.
Yo,
Well,
That's crazy.
like Shep said, man,
yo.
absolutely. The only word to
Before you
use is
go to me, I
absolutely,
gotta go to
Keith.
back. I gotta go to the
All right.
bathroom.
All
Hey,
right.
hey, Bill, we ain't about to get that
Okay.
KJ going, man. Go ahead.
The internet knows that now.
No, that's Bill. That's the whole thing right there,
Hey,
man.
yo, it's
Don't
in the
expose us.
it's in the cloud.
Yo, but
So go ahead, KJ.
as Shep said, man, the only term, and I use this because I think about it. I think about it when I'm in situations. Um, you know, my career and job has afforded me opportunity to see not just all of the United States, and I've done that a couple of times now, but the world, international and all that kind of thing. And when I'm in situations like that, I have to think back to Pitt because as these things go, it gave me, my foundation. My foundation to be successful in a professional space. But from a ground zero, really a ground zero, Pitt humbled me very much. Pitt humbled me in that, you come from, and I won't say in all world, but you come from being all decent, in sports and all that kind of thing, and then you come to a university where there's a whole bunch of other cats that are all decent and all better and all great. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, something, you got to understand, your drive and your hunger and your thirst can be one thing, and it can be on 100 and 150. But you have to understand that you do have a place in the structure. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. You have a place in the structure. So anyway, that was the base of it. But by all means, Pitt gave me you had to do it. It was dropping the bucket. You had to be analytical. You had to be able to think fast. You got in a pickle, and I wasn't. You get in a pickle. I didn't have call the folks luxury whatsoever. You got in a pickle, figure the pickle out and get yourself out of it. So now in grown up life, these things happen, and I figure it out, and I fix things, and I'm called on to fix things. I share with Keith when the OG passed away, there was a lot of stuff going on or whatever, but I was the guy that was called on to fix it. And I do have to say that the University of Pittsburgh and that, coming through what we did, y'all are all with it. And and Damon and Ja'Cory at y'all schools, y'all are all with it. And people listening, the University of Pittsburgh definitely gave me that. And at this point in my career and my life, I'm extremely, extremely happy about that and proud of it. One other thing, and this is another one that people listening might relate to. Pitt opened my door to white people. I'm just gonna say that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you dealt with them in your hometown or whatever have you, but my drop in the bucket was this cat coming in the room with me freshman year, like, whoa, like, wait, we gotta take this ride together from September to June. I've never done anything like this before, and making it work. And then subsequently making it work to the point where later on in life, y'all studying together, whoop, 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 and helping each other and figuring out how we can all, collectively get through this thing. So when you say that did Pitt set me up or did it help me or did it benefit me in being who I am now, there's absolutely no question about it. No question.
Bill, are you back, sir?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. It's on you, man.
When when I was growing up, because I was a athlete, I played football, basketball, and baseball. I always played with the white boys. The white boys showed you the fundamentals of the game. They always had the new uniforms. I was down with that. So I went to an all-white school. Went to Bishop Eustace before I went to Camden High.
Hmm.
And so I got a little bit of the positives of white people, and I
Hmm.
got a whole lot of what the negatives were with white people. And I kind of went through that with my son because they went to all. So my son had a little issue with it. So I had to go to the school and talk to the assistant principal. And he was trying to say, no, Bill, this, it's not that. I said, yo, man, listen to me right now. I went to an all white school and I know exactly what is going on in here. And when he gets tired of it and he bangs on you, you better address it correctly, you
Hmm.
know. But to move on from that, um, Camden High took care of their athletes. They took care of their basketball players. We were the stars. They made sure that we stayed out of trouble. They made sure we had what we needed. So when I moved on to the University of Pittsburgh, it was I ain't coming home without that degree. I don't care what goes on with this basketball. That degree, I got to have that. Because when we go back into the community, we got to have success for our younger kids, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and again, I learned how to deal with white people long before I got to the University of Pittsburgh.
Mm.
And my situation with Chipman was up and down, and but I was gonna make the best of it, no matter what. Okay, I ain't gonna score. Shit, I'm gonna be still on this damn floor. I bet you that. I'm gonna be Clyde, hit these five
Yep.
jumpers for me, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
we
No
gonna make
doubt.
sure.
No doubt.
We
No
gonna
doubt.
make sure that we stay on this damn floor. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And in a way, it kind of made me closer with Clyde. It made me closer with all the players on the team because now it was gotta win. We gonna win. We gonna play as hard as we possibly can play to make sure. That one time down in Georgetown, them jokers only beat us by a couple down in their place. If y'all remember that, Clyde,
Yep.
no.
And Syracuse also. Remember the game we lost in Syracuse?
No, we
How
always
did
get
it
Syracuse
influence
always, but we couldn't come
me
on
and
top.
Clyde as far as the drug and alcohol stuff is concerned? Yes, sir. By one.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. All right, Damon.
We always they knew they had the battle. They had the battle to beat us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. All right, we
me
move.
and Clyde got coming with your yo man, me Joker.
I I can't hear you.
Yeah, he's breaking up. I can't hear him.
Going in and out. Damon. Question is, your college experience, did it help you? Describe to you how it helped you, and then if you think it didn't, let us know that.
Well, it definitely helped me, man, because I went to a Catholic majority white school with a lot of rich cats. You know what I'm saying, and all that stuff, and that's where I met my wife. You know what I'm saying. What it taught me was like basketball was easy, man. You know what I'm saying, because I did that because I wanted to. I didn't have that love for it like you guys did, but I played it because I could. You know, but what I got from college is that no matter what walk of life, man, there's gonna be somebody there that's gonna have an interest in you for whatever reason, be it basketball or because you're just a good person and they want to give you help or whatever. I had all those experiences, man, because the nuns that were there that was teaching and doing all that stuff, they was on the Second Vatican, so you know what I'm saying. They was about everything, spirituality and everything, man. So it was all about humanity. So I still live by the what is that not the coat of arms, but the school mission statement. You know what I'm saying? I still live by the school mission statement, and that pretty much governs my life because it's universal, human love, and all that stuff. So I recognize everybody's humanity first and foremost. That's what I got from my university, man. Basketball was secondary, and it was just something that I did. But in learning about that humanity, that mission statement, man. Me and my wife, we've been together 38 years. We got kids, all three of our kids. My last one finna graduate in April.
Wow.
You know, I got lifelong friends in all different colors, nationalities. And it's just about being a human being, man. You know what I'm saying? You get caught up in what's coming at you as a black man. But the truth is what you give out, man. You know what I'm saying? And people gravitate towards that. So it was more than just a basketball experience for me in my university. It was all about life. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part about it, what continues to blow my mind to this day, it was predominantly white school. You know what I'm saying? They just did their job, man. You know what I'm saying? They actually taught the curriculum. They actually, you know what I'm saying? They stayed true to their mission statement.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, look, this is one of the questions I'm going to ask today, and it's going to be very quick. Um, what I learned and what it was with me when it came to my college experience, it showed me what kind of man I was, understanding disappointment and understanding triumph, because I was able to process both those things and come out in a mature conclusion. I'm speaking around it because I can really get deep into this, but I want to get to this last question so I can let these gentlemen get to their Friday. But what definitely the answer to the question is Pitt showed me how I can respond to every part of human nature. Bill spoke about interaction with white people. Look, our high school was a mixture of white and black, but I never associated with the white kids, even though I was friendly to them, because I stayed where I was comfortable with. When I went to Pitt, I had to step outside of that to understand the way the world is and how much control I had over my situation when it came to world. I'm gonna leave it right there. And this is the last question of the night, guys. And it's a simple question, and you can answer it quickly. This question is, what do you want your impact, you, the individual, what do you want your impact to your family and to the world? Everybody understand what I'm asking? We'll
Well,
start
let me
with you,
start.
KJ. Go ahead. Did you say Clive?
No, I said I was going to start it off, but go ahead, KJ.
My impact on the world, family and society, huh? Man, this is a tough question to answer. Honestly, not that I don't think about it, but when I think about it, I haven't developed my answer yet. One piece of it, I do have one piece of my answer, and is that I want it to be unanimous. That what that cat was all right. He was a good guy. He was official. He was 100. He did everything the right way, and not that I do everything the right way, but as long as it's perceived that I've done everything the right way, that's a win. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't fully ironed that ironed that question out, but it is a question that I think about, Keith. So it's a good thing that you asked it because maybe I should have an answer at this point, and maybe the rest of y'all will. But um, I, I just really right now would want, because of my name, I would want everything to be on the solid and on the 100, so that I could leave it that way, and of course I have a son, I have grandkids, etc. I mean, I would want my name to be solid, because if nothing else, and as Clyde said earlier, he knew my dad before I met Clyde, at the University of Pittsburgh. That's how we came up, and not necessarily from my dad, but from his dad, my grandfather. So at this juncture, and if it expands, it expands. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But having the Jones name and the KJ Jones name and his lineage and such, having that solid is, if I leave that, I'm good.
Okay. Clive, you were
Well,
eager.
my situation, I went through my problems when I was at UConn, which is, everybody went through my problems. But I think anyone that really know me know that I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? Um, Hard worker, good person, and that's the main thing. I have a son that lives in California, CJ Vaughn Jr. Married to a lady named Tammy that went to Pitt.
Okay.
But yeah, that went to Pitt. But I just want to be remembered as a person that was a good person that worked hard, and he's just a good person, good-hearted person, and that's important to me.
Okay. Bill.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Everything is all about my kids now, man. As as long as as long as I taught them, as long as I tried to make sure that they had the best that they could until they moved on to take care of themselves, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I love my kids so much, man. It's crazy because they turned out to be some of the greatest kids ever, man. You know,
Hmm.
all the things that could possibly be going on in this world, I ain't had to deal with none of that, man. You know what I mean? I ain't had
That's
to
real.
deal with that,
Mhm.
and I'm
That's
so
real.
appreciative. And maybe it was me,
Hey,
maybe it was me, and and if it was, thank you. You know what I mean?
amen.
So,
Yeah, man, no doubt.
Shep.
Oh yeah. That's a deep question, and I really believe that no matter how good you are and how hard you try to be the best, right? You'll never be able to please everybody. So we can't live our lives, saying I need to do this to make this person proud or that person proud. At the end of the day, like my parents was a good template for me. I just follow what they do, love my kids, and they love me back. I try my best, but you can't please everybody. I swear, if you're perfect, how they treated Jesus. You just can't do it. So I don't really focus on that as much as I did when I was younger because when I was younger, I didn't know what the future was going to be if I could actually hold up to what my values are and what I should be according to my parents. But now that I'm a little older, and I look to my sister and my parents. I mean, my mom, my dad passed away recently, but they all say good job. So the people that I love and care about, if they're saying good job to me, then I'm good. And so far they've been saying good job, and I hope I could continue that.
Quad.
Uh, what I want to leave to my people, man, is you're not the combination of your worst moments.
That's right.
They shape you. You learn from them, but you don't have to live your life from a negative point of view. Give yourself a break, and do the best you can. Do the best you can to live your life.
Okay. All right. This is another question I'm going to answer. And Damon, we're going to go into you. You answer the question, then we're going to go into your segment. Um, really and truly, what I strive to leave behind is what my mother and father left behind. And this is selfish when I say this, and you have to really understand it when I say it. When I move on, when God blesses me with the full life that I have and I've moved on, I leave a hole in my son's life because, and to be honest with you, that's what my parents did to me. It wasn't done purposely, but that hole signified how much they gave me, how much they meant to me. Because of the way my parents were, we didn't have much. We didn't have much when it came to finances. But because of the way my parents were to me, it made me love my brothers even more. And I don't want my sons to feel the pain that I felt, but the idea of that whole, that's important to me. Damon, it's on you.
I think for me, man, when am I gonna leave? I don't know. That's that I let other people determine that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't know. Because it's some people I fan I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I might rub them the wrong way or whatever. I had no control over that. But what I want to leave, what I think I'm leaving, man, is my best self, and I'm continuously working on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm continuously working on, in the most humblest way I possibly can. You know what I'm saying? Because when you really truly think about it, man, the only person, man, that you got to pay attention to is yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you giving out to the world. You know what I'm saying? And then people react to that, be it stranger or your kids. You know, and what I want my family, my kids to understand is that life is a struggle, man, every day. You know what I'm saying? It's a struggle every day. It's how you decide to go at it and how it affects you. You know what I'm saying? Now you can be bitter or you can say, you know what, this is what it is, but we're going to overcome. I don't think there's a black person on this planet, man, that don't understand that concept, man. You know what I'm saying? So, am I that guy who want to leave a legacy with millions of dollars or famous or all that stuff? I'm not really interested in that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that brother who didn't feel that providing for his family. And whatever they choose to do with their life through examples of what I do, that's my legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because who know and recognize you, man? Mostly it's people that you'll never meet in your life. You know what I'm saying? So I just understand that. You know, those professors and the people that I met at my college who influenced me, they don't know that. But they did. And guess what? It didn't matter what color it was because they showed interest. You know what I'm saying? They showed interest, which gave me interest in who I was trying to be as a human being, man. So that's all we can do. We can be the best human beings that we can be, and that the cars fall where they may. People gonna either like you, like Chef said, they either gonna like you or they're not. You know what I'm saying? How much time you gonna spend worrying about the people that don't like you for whatever reason? They don't like the way you dress. Really? That's a culmination of my life? Come on, dog. That's shallow and superficial, man.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't really get caught up in that. Only thing I can do is say, son, when I leave this earth, you the man now. You feel what I'm saying? You the man. So how you gonna conduct yourself moving forward? Because people paying attention to you, dog.
That's real.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Did you combine it or you got your last segment?
No, this is my last segment, man. I want y'all guys to know, man. You know, and KJ, I didn't watch you on TV, man, but you a good brother, and I appreciate you. It's like I've been knowing you as long as Keith have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Chef, Clive, come on, dog. I watched y'all, man. Like I said before, man, when my team was watching games, we was watching y'all, man. You know, and they looking at me every time y'all lose or win. They looking at me, and I'm like, hey man, y'all look here. Them my dudes right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Them my dudes. You know what I'm saying? So y'all had a part of molding me in terms of my basketball career because I had something to look up to. So I hope y'all appreciate that. And not only that, man, the things that y'all did post your career plan. I'm listening to y'all and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How many of these young, somebody was talking about the internet and social media and all that stuff. Do they hear from cats like y'all, man?
Hmm. Not enough.
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Not enough.
Yeah, they
That
don't
is,
want to hear. That's the thing. That's
You know, chef, right?
That's true. That's real. But yeah,
yeah, but
but that's
y'all
not
y'all tried and true though. Y'all
indeed.
tried and true. Can't nobody take that from you. Black men.
Look, that's why we here.
right.
You know
Hmm.
what I mean? That's what I learned for 30 years of law enforcement. I don't give a fuck if you don't want to hear me, but you got to hear me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's real.
Or give them, you know what? See, most cats, man, most people don't realize, man, you give a cat enough rope to bump his head. That might be the best thing that happened to him in his life, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As long as it don't take his life or sit or lock him up for the rest of his life. But if he can learn from it, it's the best teacher in the world, man.
Absolutely.
But listen, guys, we at the end of this situation. Everybody on here, stay on. Once we go off live, we're gonna meet for 5 minutes and we're gonna go from there. But a couple things I want to address before I go off here. My brother Damon, he said he watched y'all and his teammates and all that. Well, my man is in his school Hall of Fame for basketball. For
Yes, sir.
somebody who say he don't love basketball, he did a hell of a fucking job. You feel what I'm saying? That's realness.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
that humble
official.
thing. Chef, I already said you're fucking evil genius, and that's not evil. Evil is not even. Look, I just said that to be funny, but you are a genius. Period. You
Oh,
feel what
thank
I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and,
Talking about Renaissance man.
I've always
All
told
day.
Chef that. Look,
All day.
let me tell you, Clive, fucking, you were a guy that I looked up to, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna share this with everybody. The one thing I liked about you, and this is not a bad thing when I say this, so don't misunderstand. Your selfishness, I love that about you. Because what you did was you had a goal and you wanted to do a thing. And I admired that shit because you was like, yo, give me the ball. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey,
Give me
I'm gonna say. Let me say this one thing about Clive, man. Listen, dude, that's a tragedy, man. You ain't in the Hall of Fame. What the hell is that shit, man? That don't even make sense to me, man.
it's gonna happen for him.
It's coming, dude. I
That
mean,
don't even have. That don't even make sense to me. He should be first ballot, dog. Straight
you're
The
up.
numbers are
absolutely
the
right.
numbers.
No, we
Absolutely
still
right.
it's in
It's
motion.
coming.
And Phil, let me tell you, you and Clyde was the best, other than me and Shep, were the best captains that I've ever fucking had. That's real. You
That's right.
know what I mean?
Thank
Because you
you.
guys were leaders. You were
That's true.
leaders, man. And that's real. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
You
you.
know, and KJ, you know how I feel about you, and my brothers definitely know how I feel about y'all.
My man.
My
You
guy
know,
right
so
there, the big fella. My guy,
no
Keefe,
doubt,
boy.
no doubt. Now, house cleaners, people who listening to it now and gonna listen to the future, go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe, and share with everybody, man, because we have conversations with people that matter. Everyday people make this world go around, man.
Hmm.
I don't give a fuck what you could talk. You could talk, and I'm cursing. Forgive me, young ladies, if you hear me, but I don't give a fuck what you say about a celebrity. We are the people,
Hmm.
and you are the people that make this world go round. It's because of us that make that celebrity popular because we pay attention to it. But
Yeah.
look, thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for
Dude,
having us.
thank you
Thank
guys,
you.
man.
And
Yeah.
look, and you got a forever invitation. KJ will tell you because when I posted this shit about Clive, Bill,
I
and
said, look,
Shep,
I'm there.
KJ hit me up like, yo, I need
My,
to come on.
like
I said,
my
I got
man,
you.
I'm there.
Hey,
Me.
hey, Shelby Clyde.
Yo,
Normally KJ be talking his ass off, man. He talk through the whole joint, man.
See, all right then. Nah, this was
All
yo,
right,
just an
Shep,
opportunity to see these brothers. You know,
I'm just playing, man.
too long. It's been too long. Clyde I saw last year.
Mhm.
Billy we didn't see, but just to hear his voice. And
what's up?
Chef, just to see you, my man. I love all y'all brothers. Understand that. And
Any last
everybody
words, man?
that we dealt with, that we worked with, that we lived with at the University of Pittsburgh, y'all already know, man. So thank you
hey
so much.
Chef, please tell
Clyde,
Renee I say hello.
Clyde,
Okay, we'll
Clyde,
do. We'll do.
Clyde, any last words, bro?
Nah, that's it, man.
Okay, okay. Shep, any last words, my guy?
No, I'm just honored to be a part of this. For real, you know,
Okay,
like
that's real.
like whatever it was 40 years ago, if someone would have
Damn.
told me that we would be sitting here right now and that
Woo!
I would be right here, KJ,
Why it
Hey,
gotta be
Shep,
you
40,
and your
Chef?
brothers, I
Shep,
wouldn't believe it, right?
I
But it is
love to
here.
say, I
It's
love
here.
the way you say that nonchalantly.
Hey, who
Right.
said
40
Right.
who
years.
said why it got to be 40?
It
Who
was
said
just
that?
yesterday. It was just yesterday. What are you
14
Hey,
talking
years.
it's
about?
the truth. I'm telling the truth.
That's the real. That's
It's
real.
40 years because you're old, man.
That's why Billy had to go to the
Right.
bathroom.
Yeah,
That's real.
Oh man,
Sorry, any
such
40
an
last
years.
words,
honor.
brother? Any
Hey,
last
as
words?
I said earlier, man, you know, I value you guys' time, man, and I thank you for it. Uh, thank you for sharing your experiences, man, and I truly humble. Please
Okay.
come back.
Luke, any
To be here.
words, bro?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on here with these cats, man.
All
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
Linnell,
No. Yes,
Gary,
sir.
Eddie Mack, Gary Sharp.
Your
Love
audience is
y'all,
great.
man. Sister-in-law, love you, baby. You know what I'm
Your audience
saying?
is wonderful. Yes,
All right.
indeed.
This is Strong Perspective Podcast. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Peace.